Hi all, Jeff Reinhart here, back with you again. Video number 2 for the week. Week 4 LL League football. These are the Section 2 games. Goodbye non-league for Section 1 and Section 2. The Section 3 teams will have one non-league game from here on out. But this week in Week 4, it's the section openers, and I'll give you some quick hitters here on the Section 2 games. Ready? Here we go. First up, Lebanon will be at LS. Interesting. Lebanon got off to that high-flying 2-0 start. Air raid. Raided everybody. They were unbelievable. Ran into Elko on Saturday night. Got a chance to go to that. Cool atmosphere. Fun night. Elko beats the Cedars 38-26. Great game. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Elko pulled it out late. Had a pick six. Cameron Strauss had a big game. Dylan Hickerno had a big game. Somebody finally got Lebanon, so Lebanon gets its first loss. They still have gaudy stats, well up over 400 yards a game, 82 first downs, which leads the league by a mile. Alex Troutman and Mark Piles have been great at quarterback. They've been sticking in that 1-2 punch duo kind of deal, one series, and they've been awesome. They'll go to LS. Pioneers are the defending section champs, came up to Section 2 last year. Punched everybody in the face and won the section. Hello, welcome. We're going to win your section. Here we are. LS is 2-1, coming off a loss to Cedar Cliff in Week 3. Figured that'd be a pretty tough trip. The Colts are good, and they will be heard from later on for sure. So LS got its first loss in that game. Still a top 10 offense, still a top 10 defense. And bullseyes, so a lot of eyes on LS here in the next 7 weeks to see if they can back it up, win it again, prove last year was no fluke. A lot of the same kids back, especially the skill kids, Groff and Shank and McCruden and Neff and Lopez. A lot of familiar names and familiar faces at LS. We'll see what they do with the air raid, because Lebanon's going to bring it. I'm sure they're going to be a little angry coming off the loss to Elko. So this was 44-33 last year, LS. Over in Lebanon, so these teams both score a lot of points. Lebanon, LS, circle that. Next up, the Section 2 rivalry flavor of the year here lately, last couple of years. Cocalico goes to Mannheim Central. Eagles are 1-2. Coming off a tough loss to Governor Mifflin, led that game 13-0, ended up losing 14-13. They just could not hold on, couldn't punch in an insurance score. So Eagles kind of limping over to Mannheim at 1-2. Barons are 2-1, feeling a little better. The Wilson game in Week 2, not much fun, only 12 yards rushing. Barons go on the road, took a bus ride to Selinsgrove, beat the Seals by 3 touchdowns last week. So Central's feeling a little better, had 300 yards. Caleb Walton did some things through the air. I think the Barons are still trying to figure out their running attack a little bit. I don't think they've really picked like a feature kid yet, but they have 3 or 4 kids that can run the ball. So, and the Barons will definitely be up for a little revenge here against Cocalico. As mentioned, Eagles beat them last year for the first time, 34-28. So it's a rivalry now, as Coach Gingrich said last year. He said we finally got them. So yeah, it's a rivalry. So these teams have kind of been at the top here, Section 2, the last couple of years. So this is always a good one. So we'll see if Cocalico can get back on track, and we'll see if the Barons can keep the momentum going. Always a fun game. Cocalico at Mannheim Central. Next up, heading to this game, looking forward to the trip in New Holland. Conestoga Valley, Buckskins are 2-1. They go to Garden Spot. Spartans are 2-1. Both teams have done some really good things in their wins. Garden Spot will go up top. They have all kinds of crooked numbers. John Armbrust has 8 touchdown passes already. Connor Schlegel has 6 touchdown catches already. They'll spread you out, and they'll throw, and they'll run, and they'll put up some numbers. CV has stuck it on the ground. Anthony Brown was the player of the week last week, LL League News player of the week. 218 yards and a couple of scores in the win over Ephrata. CV rallies down 7-0 at the half. They come back and win. Brown goes crazy. He's up to 481 rushing yards. Number 1 in the LL League. CV's top 5 in rushing in the league. CV's also top 5 in defense in the league, so they've been good on that side of the ball as well. Good trench kids at CV, good trench kids at Garden Spot. This has war written all over it. This has like 14, 13, 17, 14 kind of game. Trench kind of a game. We'll see if CV can curtail Garden Spot's weapons. We'll see if Garden Spot can slow down Brown, who has been great. He's been over 100 all 3 weeks. 218 last week against Effort, as mentioned. Fun game. Should be an awesome race in Section 2. So kind of like in Section 1, getting out of this week 1-0 will be huge. A huge leg up for every team here in Section 2, no doubt. I'll get you a live blog from that game, LLLeaguenews.com, and check me for a live blog there on Friday night. Okay, last game in Section 2, a couple of 0-3s. These guys are both struggling a little bit. Solanco goes on the road to E-Town. E-Town's dominated this series lately. I think they've won 7 in a row. Both teams 0-3, and both teams giving up mad points. I think they're 1-2 in the league in most points given up. E-Town's given up the most. Solanco's right behind them. Both teams just looking to get on track here. 2 kids to keep an eye on for Solanco. Joe Welk, he's been spectacular. Bunch of rushing yards, 6 catches for over 100 yards. Busted a couple kick returns. He's got 2 or 3 touchdowns already. Keep an eye on him. If he can make a play in special teams, look out. And Kirby Brault for Elizabethtown, they're wide out. He's got 19 catches. I want to say 5 for touchdowns already. And he has definitely been a bright spot in an otherwise not so fun start for E-Town here. 0-3. They host Solanco 0-3. So somebody's getting a win, and somebody's coming out of there in first place in Section 2. How about that? So talk about changing your fortunes. And that's kind of the fun part about Week 4. Everybody's 0-0 again. So, okay, Lebanon at LS. Cocalico at Central, CV at Garden Spot, Solanco at E-Town. I'll get you a live blog from CV Garden Spot. Stay tuned for that. That's your Section 2 slate. That's going to be the best race of all 3. That's my guess. So keep an eye on that derby in Section 2. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.